I sure hope there weren't any mistakes in that episode, but we'll find out when my mom, Mrs. Monica, comes in and tells us what was wrong. Are you so happy to be wearing your raincoat?
Yeah. It's a good part, I guess.
That's his brown lining.
Brown lining, literally.
I was on the road at 6 a.m. this morning.
Uh-huh.
Driving to Anaheim, California, home of Disneyland, as you may know.
I do know that.
Thriving suburb in the greater
Los
metropolitan area, yes. To go to Expo West.
Okay.
Do you know about Expo West?
Nope.
I don't know a ton either.
Okay, even after having gone.
That's right.
Okay.
70,000 attendees.
Wow.
It's a huge trade show for consumer products.
Oh, all kinds?
Grocers, products, buyers, suppliers,
Wow.
founders.
Oh.
And Sharon Beasley and I, Aaron Weekly, were on stage being interviewed.
Oh, you were interviewed. Oh, I thought you guys were like trying to sell your product.
Well, that's happening. Yeah, I had to come back to work for my real job.
Are they still there?
Yeah, they're still there.
Oh.
Wandering the halls of a huge convention.
Oh.
70,000 attendees.
That's great.
Rob, Google, how many cities in America have more than 70,000?
So I'm getting 50,000 or more. There's 510 urban areas in the U.S. with a population.
Out of 50 states, that's like 10 per state.
Okay, that's...
I don't know what that does for us, but I feel like it's relevant.
Not a lot for me, personally.
What I'm saying is this would be in the top 500 cities in America for population had this group incorporated into a city while they were watching this interview.
Okay, great. I'm just thinking about all these products, you know?
Yeah, a lot of products. It's crowded space.
So many products, and...
Go ahead.
I just... like, do we need more products? Unless it's filling a space.
Yes.
I do think you are filling a space with TED Seekers. I don't think there's a lot of good NA beer.
I do too.
So I support that product.
Yes.
But overall, like, everyone has a product.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to say I declare I'm against it.
Oh my goodness, what a controversial stance. Well, you like capitalism and you like the marketplace.
Of course. So it's
right?
not an anti-capitalist stance. It's more just like, do we need it, guys?
More of an enough already?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit more of an enough already mixed with like everyone famous has to have some product. Like not you, again, not you.
No, it can be. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't mean you.
That's why I love talking about TED Seekers because this was not a cash grab. No one approached me. There's another guy with a celebrity with a beer brand. Mm-hmm. And he's very openly on a talk show saying like he got approached by people. Yeah. They handed him 5 things at a boardroom meeting and said, basically, will you put your name on this?
Yeah.
So this is like me and Aaron created a beer we wouldn't be embarrassed to order at a bar.
Yeah.
Right? We're not like, hey, do you have little duels? Could you bring it in a Budweiser? You know?
Yeah. I also think selling products is great. I have no beef with people who who are doing that.
We made it for ourselves and then we thought, oh, maybe people would also want it.
But I mean, even people who like don't really care about the product, but are like, look, I can slap my name on this and get eyes on it, and I think it's fine. I don't really have a problem with some of this bad things that other people might have problems with.
Yeah.
But I do think like when I go to Target, I'll say if I go to Target.
It's a great place to go.
And there's like so many tequilas.
Mm-hmm.
They're all one kind of tequila. They're all a celebrity brand tequila of one variety. It's not like they like put in a ton of effort to make it. Cause I think we recently talked about Paul Feig. Paul Feig has a gin.
Yes.
But that's like his passion.
Yeah, he's virtually a chemist.
Yes. And so that's great to me. But just
and my passion's partying.
It was.
No, it is. That's what TED Seeker is all about. You can still fucking rage. You don't have to have alcohol.
Yeah, but do you think you rage?
Oh my God, yes. Aaron and I party hard.
I don't need to poke holes in your business.
Barbecue, laughing, screaming, 5 of them, not the sip one.
Of course.
Empty can. It's a party.
Yeah, but I think most people think when they hear party, they think like club, 4 a.m. like.
Oh, they're not thinking about it correctly.
I agree.
Parties is a state of mind. And I'm going to drop into a carefree tomorrow never comes attitude. That's a party to me.
I'm about parties too then.
Yeah. We party. We fucking get down here. What are you talking about? This is a major party.
I'm just telling you what the colloquial observation
some
of the word party.
That they think it has to involve being intoxicated.
And being out late. People think partying is being out late, and they don't party with me because I'm in bed by 8.
Yes. But Aaron and I will be out late, okay? Rarely. But we
want
would.
You to be honest that it's rare.
Yeah, but we
and then
would.
You used to get panicked because you haven't taken your sleep aids.
I'll give you a prime example. Aaron and I will be, which happens often, we're both binging a show together and it's midnight. We should go to bed. And I go, you just want to fucking party? And he's like, yeah, let's fucking go. And that means we'll watch till maybe 3 a.m. because tomorrow's not coming. That's tomorrow Dax's problem.
BTDT. That's like how I live.
BTDT.
I watched all of Running Point on Saturday. I watched the whole show.
Right. Let it rip.
I
Party.
was up late, and I guess I was partying.
Yes. I don't think we should let the people who are getting intoxicated own the space partying.
I like it. You're reclaiming.
That's right. Wait, back to I want to spend a little more time on this because I think you're representing how a lot of people feel. Like, oh God, this guy's got a vodka now.
Right. I don't mean to, yeah.
But I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
And I guess I can see it from both sides.
Well, let me be clear really quick. To me, it's not about like, oh, this guy has. It's not about the guy or the girl or the whatever. It's not about the person. It's about the space. It's like, guys, we just don't need another one of these.
Right. You're more like the category is.
Yeah, pick a new category. Get a little creative. Look and see what's needed. Yeah. Then do that.
That's what's cool about Danny.
Ricardo.
No.
Nope.
He did wine. Nope. Danny DeVito.
Oh.
He did limoncello. What is it? Limoncello?
I love limoncello.
Limoncello. Like when we did When in Rome 18 years ago.
He was ahead of the game.
He had limoncello because that's his drink.
This is the same with beauty. Beauty insiders also feel like this. Like, wow, everyone has a makeup brand or a beauty brand or skincare brand. Exactly. Something. And I agree, but I also think there is some space there. Like, I do like the people who are coming in with a more diverse color palette.
Okay, sure.
Things like
some
that.
Browns and light browns. And,
yeah, because there's a lot of
whitey.
There's just a lot of variation within darker colors, and that's not available.
Yeah.
I was just asking Simone yesterday. I was like, "What did you put on my face again for the SAG Awards?" And she was like, "I used 2."
She had to do some.
Yeah, you got to use
chemistry.
That's right.
Oh, I was only gonna. Not that anyone cares. I don't even know why I'm saying this, but I'm going to. If you look at the last 6 spirits that were created and then became valuated or over $1 billion or multiple billions of dollars. The truth is 4 of those 5 are celebrity driven, whether it's Conor McGregor or it's the handsome McClooney.
George Clooney, but his is good.
Well, yeah, they could be good or they could be.
I guess with that, I didn't even know that was his brand.
Yeah.
I was drinking it, Casamigos,
shout out.
Yes, I was drinking
He already exited, I think.
Oh, good for him. And then I learned. Like, I think he invested in that, right?
Oh, he was right out in front of it.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, yeah. There's several, they have worked. And what you have to acknowledge is if you're a distiller or a distillery, breaking through this insanely cluttered space is nearly fucking impossible.
Yeah.
You would really have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars marketing this product.
Yeah.
Or you get The Rock to talk about it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
You save yourself several $100 million.
Sure.
And it breaks through. So it's like.
But that's selling. That's like, he's the spokesperson. I'm fine with spokespeople.
No, he started that. He's one of the founders.
That's what I'm saying. That's different. Starting something, founding something, having your own idea and doing it to me is like, now I'm confused about what I'm even saying.
And me too a bit, which I think is the sign of a good conversation, is you're like trying to figure out what your position is midway through.
I don't care. Everyone can do it however they want, but there's just a lot of products out there.
I want to explain the landscape and why it's irresistible for distilleries and spirits.
Yeah.
Because you almost can't do it. To just have like a novel recipe and try to penetrate.
I agree. Like Kristen was with Spindrift for a while.
Right.
That to me is great. Like she likes the product and it exists and she is helping promote it. She's a spokesperson. But I think if she on her own was like, and like you guys did it with Hello Bella because you felt like that there was a need.
Yeah.
But if she on her own,
people on a budget to have the same shit we had.
Yes. But I think if she on her own was just like, what product shall I make now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Lipstick.
I'll make vodka.
Right. And I don't drink.
Yeah. Or just anything. It's like she didn't do that. And I appreciate that. Like, I think just being hired is great.
Yeah.
Please hire me to be a spokesperson.
No, I think you just.
No, this is nuanced. I would like to be a spokesperson for your product that already exists, but I don't want to clutter the market with a new one.
Don't you think it might be fair to also acknowledge is like, however you feel about the new celebrity product is virtually just how you feel about that celebrity. Because like when Clooney does it, you're like, oh, cool. He's super classy and elevated. And I bet his tequila's
sexy.
Top shelf and you won't get a hangover.
And it is.
And then you see, I don't even want to say a name, but
won't.
You know, there's like a whole legion of people you would see with the product and be like, well, I don't even like their vibe to begin with. And it reeks of cash grab.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's all part of it.
I'll have everyone know, if it makes them feel better, I have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on Ted Seegers.
No, I made this clear that I think that's different.
Mine's also a mission to be with my two friends.
Yeah, that's great. Everyone do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And I don't care if you think I guess it is important to me that everyone recognize that this is not a cash grab. No one came to me. This is all self-finance, and I'll probably lose my shirt. But again, I'm having a blast with Aaron and Aaron. We were at a fucking convention just now on stage. Too. Cash grabs in the right. Yeah, there's the right. Listen, I'm part of some cash grabs.
Everything's fine. Me too. Everything's fine. Everyone's doing great.
Everyone's trying to make it. What else? How was your weekend? We haven't discussed weekends.
Yeah.
Tell me.
As I said, I watched all of Running Point, really enjoyed it. I missed that half-hour comedy vibe a lot.
Yeah.
It's such it's just easy, it's breezy, it's fun, it's sexy, I like it. So I watched all that. Oh, speaking of, on my Instagram this week, because it's Mindy Week, although when this comes out, it won't be Mindy Week.
Yeah, it's past.
It will have passed. But it's Mindy Week, so every day this week I'm posting on stories an old episode of ours that is connected to Running Point. So like yesterday I posted Kate's old episode.
Right.
Today I posted Ike's first appearance.
Wow, first.
Yeah. And then there's more to come.
Oh my God.
We've had a lot of those people on.
Yeah, who else?
Max.
Oh yeah, Max Greenfield.
Yep.
Sweet Max, who I love.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you finished you plowed right through. And it felt great. And you woke up and felt good in the morning.
Yeah, I was very happy.
You didn't feel guilty for partying too hard. Yeah, good.
No, I didn't. I felt great about it.
Wonderful.
What else did I do? Oh, I had a big catch-up session with my viewing crew because we were behind, and we watched White Lotus and Severance. We were behind. So we had to watch 2 Severance, 2 White Lotus.
You have not introduced me to this viewing crew concept. You just dropped it on my lap.
No,
I'm super familiar with
I told you, Anna,
crew.
Julia, Jess, and I watched that. Watched Severance and White Lotus.
You told me you had watched an episode. I didn't realize it was a commitment and a viewing crew. And a weekly.
Yeah, it's a weekly Sunday.
What fun.
Sunday, I make dinner.
The funnest times of my whole life were watching Sopranos on Sunday nights and making Italian food.
Yeah. So fun.
Gotta gooch.
The problem is when you miss.
Gotta geech.
It's a problem.
Yeah, when you get it, it's a gotta gooch. And when you miss, it's a gotta geech. Okay.
Are you in Sopranos?
I'm in Sopranos.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like then we have 4 to watch. That was a lot.
When you miss a week of viewing, I thought you meant when you miss cooking.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
that would be
understand what you were doing. Okay, yeah.
Missing would be, Maron. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we had to watch 4 episodes.
Oh my God, that was your Sunday?
Yeah, which was also very
That's
fun.
fun.
It was fun. But then the Oscars were also on.
Oh, and you got to watch those.
So I had to watch pieces of that. So it was a lot of television consumption over the weekend.
I had a television party too because I got early screeners for Drive to Survive.
Nice.
And I had the boys over
Cool.
to watch. And yeah, what a show. What a show. Boy, do they build the suspense for the season, which kicks off in a week.
Fun.
I can't wait. Testing happened. Some surprises, some big, exciting surprises.
How's my boyfriend? Does he do well? Does he?
Who's your current boyfriend?
Toto. He's one of my boyfriends.
Oh, now he's your boyfriend.
He's definitely been one of my boyfriends since he came on the show.
Since he came on the show,
Yeah, of
but
course.
prior to that, yeah, it was Ricardo or bust.
Well, Ricardo's still, but
Ricardo.
he's not there.
He's a gargooch.
Okay.
Ricardo.
Yeah, Danny.
Daniel Ricardo. You can't even look. Yeah, great Toto. What a charming son of a bitch. He gets you several times in the 3 episodes I saw.
does.
Yes, he's so playful.
God, he really is so playful.
But back to testing, Carlos Sainz, who we love, sexiest man on the grid, best lay, father, is a legend.
Poo-poo pants.
Don't say that about him. He was unceremoniously let go of Ferrari to make room for Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
And what was great is that the first half of the year, Carlos was destroying. He was beating Leclerc, who I love. But it was fun because he's like, oh, you're going to fire me and keep Charles. Let me beat Charles for a while. Very exciting.
This is great.
He went to Williams, always a bottom 3 team. In testing, first test session, Carlos Sainz had the fastest lap in a Williams.
That's
Talk about a
awesome.
little bit of poetic justice.
We love a comeback.
Underdog.
An underdog.
This is straight underdog. You know, I have very specific compartments for my stories, as we learned on the last fact check.
What do you mean? Wait, I forget.
Well, I was like, no, this is a climbing the ladder, becoming a CEO
yeah.
story. This isn't a dreams come true story. That's too broad of a blanket.
Sure.
So this one is specifically underdog.
Yeah, but it's like underdog.
Revenge.
It's that's what it is.
Best
It's not
served.
underdog, I don't think.
Well, he's on an underdog team.
I know, but
There's
it's
2
like,
stories happening.
it's just hard to call him an underdog.
But the Williams story is an underdog story. And then the Carlos Sainz is a revenge is a dish best served hot and straight up your ass on week 1 of testing.
And I won't clean my ass after.
Don't say that.
It's my opinion. I mean, that's the world we live in. Opinions
Are
you
facts.
just say it and it's a fact.
That's right. Opinions are facts. Don't talk back.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's fun. You had a viewing party.
Yeah, that was a really good time. Had a double date on Saturday night at a steakhouse by the people who do sugarfish.
Oh, nice.
And you can expect it's the steak version of sugarfish.
Where, what?
Matu?
Oh, I've been there.
You have?
God, yeah. The Philly, they do also have
the Philly cheesesteak.
So good.
Oh my God, that was dessert. We got this crazy, like, all-in meal, and the dessert was that friggin'.
It's
That's the
unreal.
best. I mean, people in Philadelphia are going to slit my throat, but it's the best Philly cheesesteak I've ever had, and I've had them in Philadelphia.
What's a Wagyu?
Yeah.
Right?
It's a Wagyu. You
Yeah.
mispronounced it, but yeah.
Oh, God.
Got a gooch.
Oh, you've been hanging out with too many bros. Now
No,
you
I
talk,
haven't.
Now you
I
talk
spent
like that.
One evening with Aaron and Aaron, who are
No,
not
Aaron
bros.
and Aaron are not the bros I'm talking about.
They're not bros at all.
I love them.
Yeah, they're very unbro-like.
I know. That's why I love them.
We went and saw the Led Zeppelin documentary yesterday.
Fun.
In IMAX.
Fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about that. This is a Easter egg. You know, you
Can't wait to watch you tap dance around this. I already know what's coming, and I'm like watching you play. You're like testing the ice, see if you're going to falter before you say it.
I know. For someone who is pretty risk averse, I'm really not. I step on the
no.
ice all the time.
Yeah, you're mixed messies for sure.
I do think you connect with bro culture. Like in your head, you think that. Like you grew up in Michigan and, you know, it's dirt road and you have all these bros and then other kinds of bros in Detroit. Like you really connect with that idea.
Oh, okay. Well, so far I can agree with you. I can hang with the bros. Like I'm totally comfortable in that. Yeah.
But I think you sometimes identify, well, maybe it's just when you're with them. I don't know. But I mean this as a huge compliment.
Yeah.
You are not one.
Oh, I know.
And like your bros are sweet boys.
Oh, yeah. The
like,
Aarons?
Yeah.
All my friends from Michigan are sweethearts.
I know.
We fist fought a lot, but all of them are very sweet boys.
That's like...
I think that's...
There's a distinction for me.
If I dare, I'm now on the ice. I think you had some pretty binary categories. And I don't know that you had the category of boys who were super sweet to their moms and their sisters and also fought at the bar.
Right.
And I think that's the category that the Aarons and I are in.
Yeah, that's right. I think the bro culture that people talk about is different. It's different than what you have and what you're doing.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the bro culture, without naming names, is in deep search of masculinity.
Yeah.
And I think I've been lucky enough to achieve a lot of that masculinity.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of guys who act tough who they've never challenged themselves to find out if they are. And they have this fear that they're not, and they're kind of compensating. So I can hang in those circles because I am often the thing some of these guys are purporting to be, but I don't act like a blowhard, or I try not to act like a blowhard.
Yeah. But like some people do put it to the test, like Rogan. Like he goes and he's like into UFC and
he trains. He
exactly.
But his story, as I've learned from other people, is he was a bullied kid. He's short. I think he was bullied, and I think he didn't want to ever feel that again. And I think he made himself strong and learned how to fight. And I think I'm assuming he's kind of honest about that. Yeah,
but he's choosing still to surround himself and build a life that's still like that.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
I think it could be misleading if you only evaluate Rogan by the 15 most flagrant guests he's had, instead of the dude's done 2,000 episodes of his show. And he's also really good friends with Chappelle. I think he's a comedian first. I think if we were to interview him, I think he would most identify he's a comedian. UFC's not first. He's much happier in a green room with all comics. Yeah. I think that's his allegiance and his tribe. And then I think as I'm crazy into cars, he's crazy into UFC. And then that invites UFC fighters. Now, those guys, I'm not, a lot of them, I don't have much to defend about their worldview, but I don't know that it's entirely fair to graph onto Rogan who his 15 craziest guests are. Because he also has
That's fair.
Other guests in the opposite direction. If there's anything I'll say about him, he's incredibly fair about everyone there's kind of welcome. If anything, he's just really attracted to super provocative ideas. Sometimes they're on the left, sometimes they're on the right. I listened to a speech he made the other day that was like, I'm not in either of your club. What I think is crazy is to be in a club. So I don't think he himself self-identifies as much as the left thinks he does with being a conservative. But I think he's a bit of a big bad wolf on the left, and I personally don't think he is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I'll say he's a big bad wolf, but do I think he contributes to a culture that I think is problematic? Yes. And that doesn't mean he himself necessarily is that. But I think he feeds that group what they want, and then they get off on it.
Well, again, I think they listen to the 15 episodes that we would then talk about in droves, and then
he obviously is the biggest show in the world.
Oh, by 5-10x.
Yeah, it's not that they're picking and choosing. He has a huge audience that I believe cares to keep, as he should. Yeah. And I think that means feeding it.
See, that's where I might disagree. I don't think he's led by his audience at all. Like, I think he is actually insanely true to who he just is. That's why I respect him a lot. Right. I don't think he's chasing that audience. I think he's him, and a big swath of the country loves that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see other people chasing that and trying to be opportunistic about that.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's him. I think he's been the same fucking dude for 12 years on his show.
I only wondered because, again, Easter egg, we have someone coming out, and we have two people coming out that are, in my opinion, well, one of them especially is quite atypical-ish.
Atypical or atypical?
Atypical of our guests.
Sure.
And the type of conversation even is different.
Yeah.
And I did think, I wonder what would happen, like in an alternate universe, what would happen if I wasn't here? Not in this, in this show.
Oh,
if it was Dax solo.
Yeah.
What would happen with the show? Who would it be? What would it be? I mean, I think there's no way to know because of like the alchemy. You can't tell.
Right.
But I did, after I was like, oh man, I wonder. Then we went out and your friends were here, Aaron's, the Aarons were here. And I was like, it wouldn't be that.
I think the way you can test it is I've gone on these people's shows and I'm just still me. I'm talking about trauma and addiction and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Even in the lion's den of these dudes.
Yeah.
But again, I have the gift of having done all the stuff. I don't ever feel like I need to inflate or bonify my masculinity.
Prove yourself.
I don't. I'm so comfortable, like when it goes into those zones that I actually like, if it's about cars or a great boxing match, I do like that stuff. But I don't ever need to join.
You're not bragging about those things.
No.
But also, I was thinking, yes, you're right. I think you would be talking about trauma and you would be whatever, I agree. You are you. Mm-hmm. But I was, and this is not a pat on my back because it was you who said that I should be here.
Yeah.
I do think it's just so fucking important to have a woman in the room. I mean, we've had so many
especially one that's empowered.
Yes.
Like if you were to guest on one of their shows, it would be dicey. It would be hard.
It would be hard.
But these people are on your show.
Yeah, but sorry. I mean as hosts.
Yeah.
Like it is really important to have a woman there. It changes the dynamic of everything, even if I'm silent.
Absolutely. Now what I would agree with is the guest, one of the two, would have gone further. Now I wouldn't have joined him, but he would have certainly gone further. Well, here's where we might disagree. So yes, in this situation, of course, I couldn't be more grateful you're here at all times. And this show absolutely needs you. Now, I don't mind at all if there's a podcast with 5 guys talking about guy shit. Mm-hmm. That's okay. We don't have to have a woman there, and we don't need a man when there's a podcast of 5 women talking about women shit. I don't think we need representation in all places. It's plenty fine if girls have a podcast and boys have a podcast. That doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And boys can go ahead and talk about the UFC the whole time and who paid for dinner, all that stuff. That's not the enemy, I don't think.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's the enemy. I think they should be able to do that. I'm not like you can't, but I think
like if women's shows don't need a man, which they don't, I don't think men's show need a woman.
Yeah, I mean, then we get into like women are talking about the things that aren't being talked about because that is not a group that gets a lot of attention in that way. Like they're talking about not getting paid. That is important to talk about, right? Like I don't think men on the men's podcast are saying like, yeah, women aren't getting paid.
That's to me sounds like you're saying one is superior to the other. That one has an ethical drive and the other one is inane. And so
no, I didn't say that's putting words in my mouth.
I know. I'm telling you what it sounds like. It sounds like you're saying a women's show is needed and they're a part of some kind of good movement, and the men's one is not.
No, it's just representation. It's just that group they do need more platforms to talk because there aren't that many. So it is good to have, I also think the women should have men on. I think it's
Like, I
good
don't
to
think The
have-
View needs a man. I don't think Alex Cooper needs a man. I think there's
yes, that's true.
there's tons of very successful shows that are female led, and that's awesome. They don't need anything. They are doing the show they want to do, and the audience who's consuming it wants that show.
Yeah, I agree.
And the same has to be applied to the guys.
I agree. But I do think there's a lot of ideas currently. I mean, not even ideas. We know what's happening to men. Men are suffering. They are tanking.
Mm-hmm.
And I often think some of these things don't help that. Personally, for them, I think they get very riled up, and then they're just continuing to to go on this course that is not going to pull them out of any of these ruts.
I'm just saying, I don't think they have advice for how the female-dominated show should be or shouldn't be. I don't think they're telling anyone how your show should be or how female shows should be. But I think a lot of those men would feel like, why are you even telling us what our show has to be? Like, just don't listen to our show. If you don't want to hear a bunch of talk about fighting and stuff, who cares?
No, the reason to care is the implication it has on a huge group of this country, sort of a currently like kind of disenfranchised male.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like rallying around.
Yeah.
And
as they should.
But it's not working. It's not getting them out of any of these bad situations that they're in. I
hate to say this, it is working because they got their president in there.
And they're all suffering.
I mean,
literally all of those people are
I'm not agreeing.
Freaking out right now because I don't have any money and they can't buy anything and everything's gone.
I don't want Trump to be president. I don't agree with, I mean, name the thing that's going on. But if if you make those folks black, take them out of that they're white men, the black community totally disenfranchised. You get hip hop, you get rap, you get this empowering art that comes out of it. And for anyone who was sitting on the sidelines telling Ice Cube how he should be dealing with this situation when he's got tons of raps about shooting people and hating white people, the people that were on the outside telling him how he should deal with growing up in South Central, we would both agree they should shut the fuck up. Because that's the disenfranchised group, and you're hearing their voice now. So now there's another disenfranchised group, and they're doing what generally people do that are disenfranchised. They bond together over that, and then they try to get someone they think is going to represent their cause. And those people won the election.
Yeah. And they're gonna, and
your
them.
opinion is they'll suffer more under this president.
No, it's not that is fact.
I don't think they're going to benefit. But what I can say is we don't know the result because 4 years isn't up.
But what we started just talking about is that they got their president, and they did.
Yeah.
And my opinion is that their president, that they all got fucking fooled. And I don't think that, I do think there's maybe not a responsibility. I would find it to be my responsibility. If we had a show, if I started looking at our audience and I was like, our audience is all believing something that I don't think is actually correct and is actually going to lead them to suffer, I would want to do something here to try to help correct that while keeping them, of course.
Just think if your goal is to help this disenfranchised group, I think saying your conclusion is they got fooled, which is if I'm them and I hear you say you all got fooled, what I'm hearing you say is you're smarter than I am. And I got fooled and I'm a fool. I think a good chunk of men feel like all they've been hearing for 10 years is how terrible men are.
I know. Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty predictable that this group that's being told they're toxic and terrible for 10 years is going to at some point go, well, then fuck you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And I think if our continued approach is to tell all of them that they're terrible, you're going to see more of this. I think if you want young men to be on our side, you have to invite them. And I think you have to make it seem like they're welcomed and we'd be delighted to have them.
Yeah.
And I think the messaging towards men over the last decade has not made a lot of them feel that way.
Yeah, that's probably, I'm sure that's right.
And I think even if they don't have a job, let's say they're unemployed today, and then they're unemployed in 4 years. But at least someone got up and said, hey, I'm not apologizing that I was born male and I'm sick of hearing the bullshit. Maybe that win for them would be better if they're unemployed on both sides of it.
Okay, then they can live their life like that. Like that's, I
think that's a really...
It's very unfair, in my opinion, for you to say that. Like, so women have to do what women always have to do, which is placate men because they have the power and say like, oh my God, you guys are so great. Please come over. There's love you.
There's a huge gap, Monica, between you're so great and just you're so shitty. I think, and you could argue and win that it's justified. So yes, I think my general feeling about women is much more positive than your general feeling about men. And you could argue that that's totally justified because they're the patriarchy, they commit the sex crimes, they do all the murdering. Those are great reasons. And I'm not even going to argue, but I do think my overall opinion of women is higher than your overall opinion of men. And I think I feel it. Do you think that's an accurate assessment that your overall opinion of men is lower than my opinion of women?
Than your overall opinion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but yes, for like being a woman in America, that's not. I mean, I don't know how to combat. Like you did just kind of put me you did paint me in a way like yes. I know because and so of if men.
Yeah,
in this country.
I get it, and it's justified. So if you're a man and I'm a man, and yes, there are pedophiles that are men, and there's rapists that are men, and there's a lot of bad men. But if you paint me with the same brush as those men, if you're conflating me with those other people, now I'm a group, and now I have a group identity.
But that's not fair I don't think. We have so many men who come on this show, experts and celebrities. When they walk in, I'm not like, well, I don't trust you, or I'm not sure if I like you. I'm like, yes, I like you until something is said or done where I don't.
Yeah, I never experience it when we're interviewing a guest.
No, but that's me interacting with men in the world.
I experience it when we do Armchair Anonymous and we're listening to a woman's story. That's when I observe it, where it's like there's no benefit of a doubt to the man that's being talked about. You'll generally go to, they're terrible. The girl who shit on her boyfriend and he threw up, and that's where I'll notice it. Where I'll go like, wow, I think Monica's opinion of men is pretty low. Mm-hmm. She's quick to assume the man in this story is the problem and not the woman, or that it would be equal.
Maybe.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. And again, men have earned that, but I'm not that man, and so many of the men are not that men, and we don't like it.
Okay.
Just like you wouldn't like any negative stereotype about Indians or women. You wouldn't like it.
But if I'm behaving in that stereotype, it's for you to lump you in is a little like...
Well, I'm a man.
But I know you.
Right.
It's not like you're a random man I know. My opinion of you is based on you and you and me. It is not about anything stereotypical.
Right. I can tell you, I go to Kristen's cabaret show, and there's a woman host of it. It's her show. And she does 7 minutes on the world would be perfect if there was an island and it just had women on it and there was no men. And all the women clap in the audience. That's a real thing that's totally fine to say in public right now. And in fact, gets applauded. And I'm a dude in the audience and I'm like, we're in a weird pattern right now where this is not only fine, but applauded. And I'm looking at the 7 men in the room and I'm like, yeah, this is weird. There's never been, it's just, if that was the same thing that was being done and men were going, dream world is an island with no women and everyone clapped, I would go, you guys are fucked.
No, I know. But I think there's some contradictions here because also when these stand-ups are making jokes about women or other people of other races or whatever. And in your response, which I think is correct, is if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Uh-huh.
This is the same thing. Why is it if it's a woman doing it, it's like that's really bad, but when men say something sexist, you say like, well, just that's not for you. Don't watch it.
No, I'm never laughing that a guy goes, women suck and men should all be together. I've never enjoyed a stand-up routine or laughed at a joke that was that complicated. Her entire thing was just, wouldn't it be great if there were no men? Now, had she crafted an incredible joke and it was funny, I would laugh at it for sure. I don't have that big of a chip on my shoulder. I'm just saying that's a weird vibe, and I'm in that kind of often. And I'm pretty evolved, and I still go, ugh, this is weird. I don't want to be a man in this room. I don't know why you hate men across the board. I don't think you should hate me. And I am semi-evolved. So I'm imagining all these other kids that are unemployed and hearing that sentiment and just going like, okay, I guess it's us against them.
Yeah. I don't think most of the people in the country are hearing the woman at the cabaret show. I think that's very Los Angeles and very New York. I don't think that is happening.
Yeah. But do you agree at all that that's a weird thing or no?
To say that?
The cabaret show I went to.
I think it's silly. I don't agree with that. But I think her saying it when some people are saying it, just like men are saying bad shit too. And I'm just like, if we're going to say that it's okay for those people to be saying those things and we just can like we can not listen or they can speak to their people, then I think that has to be allowed anywhere.
Oh, yeah. I'm only pointing out that that's happening.
Yeah, it's happening on both sides, like crazy.
But I don't think that cabaret host needs a male and present. She's fine to do that in her followers.
Well, she probably does fucking need a man there that she likes. She does. That's a perfect point. If she had someone there that she did trust and know and like that was a man, I doubt that would be her opinion. But the fact that she is so potentially, I don't know anything about this person, but is so siloed off and that so much so that is her opinion that the world would be better with no men. Yeah. That to me is an indication that she needs to have some more men in her life that are good.
I think that's I don't think that's a single digit opinion.
But to me, that is a silo. That's an issue with silos. And that's exactly my whole problem with these shows that are, I think, intensifying a silo. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. It is happening on both sides where people are only speaking to one group and these thoughts and opinions are getting so extreme. Like we should eradicate an entire sex and gender. Yeah. Like, no, that's wild.
I just think it's a real bad idea if we're just squaring off like, okay, it's on. It's men against women. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And I think that's a bad, I think that's going to have a bad fucking outcome. I think that's
bad. And this like now after an hour is circling back to what I was saying, which is I think there would be less of it's men versus women if men and women were in rooms together a lot more and building trust.
I do too.
Oh my God. A long walk there.
It was an entertaining walk. I think a lot of people will have heard their opinions voiced.
Okay, facts. Lauren.
Sweet Lauren Graham. Boy, we got a taste of her, what she was saying with the young kids watching Gilmore Girls, because she left the garage and we were in the yard and Delta had a friend over from school and that friend was freaking the fuck out. Delta was like, is Lauren on a show called what is it? Gilmore Girls. And I'm like, yeah, she the Gilmore Girl.
Oh, that it's still going.
An 11-year-old.
That's really cute. Yeah, special to be on a show that just like keeps finding its audience.
Yeah.
All right. So the book club, Jenna Bush Hager's book club. These are the books. The Wedding People, Blue Sisters, The Mighty Red, The Motherless Land, Devotions, The Life Cycle of the Common Octopus, and This Is a Love Story. Those are the last. That's from August of last year till now. Lauren had read
any
all
of those?
Them. No,
okay.
I'm still reading Intermezzo.
Okay. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And we'll come back to you next week with that riddle. How long has May been in show business? 94. When a Man Loves a Woman, she was 6.
Okay, 31 years.
Whew.
30 wonderful years.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then 93.
She beat me by a decade.
Yeah. She was on Friends. And then Lauren was in 93. So she did beat her by 1 year.
Okay, 32 years.
Yeah. The Howie Mandel game show that they went to visit is called Take It All.
Did they take it all? Oh, they were just
That I
watching.
don't
They weren't
know.
contestants.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think they were contestants.
Okay.
But this is ding, 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 sort of back to that riddle that we haven't shared. Take It All is a game show where the final 2 contestants choose between keeping their money or taking it all. The contestant who chooses Take It All wins all the money and prizes from both contestants. If both contestants choose Take It All, they both lose. It's
Prisoner
tricky.
games.
Yeah, exactly. Zimbardo.
Non-cooperative
Milton.
games.
Oh, the SNL 4-part series, SNL 50, Beyond Saturday Night, includes an episode that explores the Saturday Night Live audition process. It's on Peacock, if anyone is interested. The movie she did with Joel McHale, A Merry Friggin' Christmas with Robin Williams. How long did This Is Us run? 6 seasons, 106 episodes. You guys ran 6 seasons, 103 episodes.
Oh, they beat us.
Barely.
Just resumed Paradise last night. Same writer.
Yeah.
Episode 8 was banger.
Oh, I'm behind then.
Oh. Yeah, it's bad. It's all caught up to what our screeners were.
Oh, great.
Yeah, tasty. We all watched it. The Aarons, the girls, me last night. Yeah, Aaron was on a second viewing of it. You know, Aaron sees absolutely every show.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, I'm excited. I'm excited to keep watching. All right, that's it.
That was all?
Lauren.
All right. We love you, Lauren.
We really do.
Yeah,
She's a
I
nice.
really love you.
I really want her banana bread.
Me too, but I can't even have it.
If she brings it, you have to eat some. This is Letterman all over
I
again.
had to put a tux on.
Yep, that's right.
All right.
Okay,
love you.
you.